and welcome to Tarmac on a very grey day in Auckland. I am Dave.
I'm Matthew, and today we're adding a little bit of Japanese flavor to the Auckland skyline because this is the new Mazda BT-50 Takami.
That's right, it's the rugged BT-50, but it's very, very posh. Come, let's take a look at this. Now, in truth, this BT-50 is more, well, certainly the exterior design is more about its Kodo design. But for those that are more enlightened, or those enlightened viewers of you would know, Takami is about the craftsmanship, and there is more of that inside. And Matthew will get to that in a moment. But looking around the exterior, the grille itself is more blackened out, so signature grille, but you know, just a bit darker, less chrome. The lights are LEDs, and it honestly, from the way it puts its face forward, it should be more of a blackout edition, but we'll keep with Takami. More of it round the side. Like I said, there's actually quite a lot going along down the side here. So starting with these, look at these extended fender flares, which really do give it that little bit more oomph around the side. 18-inch alloy wheels that are basically in black as well. You've got mirror caps, again in black. You've got these side steps, which are, I think they're gunmetal grey, and also roof rails that are in roughly a gunmetal grey as well. Black door handles here, and for those that are really observant amongst you, the sports bar back here with the BT-50 on it. Okay, admittedly, there's not that much that's gone on around the rear here. You've got LED tail lights, you've got a blackened handle here, your 4x4 badge, your BT-50 badge, and also this very heavy tailgate opens up to this retractable. Look at that, opens up really well. Speaking of things that are retractable, Matthew's inside and he'll show you what's going on in there.
Well, Dave's sort of a bit more retracted than I am, but even for someone of my height and taller people, there's plenty of room in here, you know, height-wise and leg-wise and all that stuff. But the Takami isn't about that. It's specifically about the trappings of luxury that come with this particular trim of the BT-50. And trappings, well, it's got plenty of those. You've got two interior color options, so either black or this brown. And this is definitely, I guess, our choice because it adds a lot more color and life to the interior. You get some nice leather seats with decent chunky bolsters, plenty of contrast stitching, perforation, all of that good stuff. They are heated as well, both the driver and passenger, so keeps you warm on a coldish morning like this one. The color scheme, well, that extends onto the dashboard there. You can see black up the top, bit of soft material there. You've got this cubby in here, which is also in the brownish contrast color with a very strange handle there, which doesn't always work. But anyway, you got storage in there, storage in here as well, and plenty more storage in the door cubbies. In the center console here, your two cup holders. You've got space for your phone in there. No wireless charging, though you do get a 12-volt socket there. You get USB and your aux as well. So there's a few different options to power up your phone if you like. The other key things around here in terms of the luxuries, well, you've got leather wrapping there on the gear shifter. You've got leather around the handbrake there, which there's actually a zip. So I presume you can take off that casing and put it in the wash for some reason. Now that I've covered all the luxury bits, well, remember this is still a ute. It still needs to have, you know, off-road capability. And it does, because you've got this dial here, which switches between the two-wheel drive and then four-wheel drive, either high range or low range. And you've also got a differential lock over there, as well as hill descent control. So it has got enough of stuff going on to get you out of the sticky stuff or into it. Well, in front of the driver, you have a mixture of both digital and analog style. So your gauges there, you got your speedo on the right, your rev counter on the left, and then on the screen in the front you've got the fuel gauge on your right, the temperature gauge, and you can flick through into all sorts of different information displays using buttons on the steering wheel. So if I go next, you firstly you can see the drivetrain mode. So we're in two-wheel drive right now, which has a rear-wheel drive bias, and then you keep flicking through, and one of the, I guess, the most handy things is this, the compass. So every time your GPS tells you to head north or head in whatever direction, you can just look down on your BT-50 and go in that direction. So it is thoughtful in that sense as well. Speaking of thoughtful, well, the steering wheel, It's a nice leather wrapped unit, very soft and nice to hold. It's got buttons galore over here. So on the right you've got your cruise control, and then also the buttons to change the screen in front. Then on your left you've got your media controls, volume, and then your phone as well. So it's very, very handy and very convenient there too. Speaking of convenience, well, this Takami drives pretty nicely, but there's only one way to show you that, and that's by actually driving it. So right now we're actually in and around town, which for this BT-50 Takami is probably more of its natural habitat than the great outdoors.
Absolutely agree. I mean, its four-wheel drive capabilities and low range are really not going to struggle on the curbs that are around this area, but you never know. You could get stuck on a grassy verge that you need the capabilities for that. But more importantly is it's just as good looks, and it really is both externally and internally just better looking. It has elevated its whole position.
And this is a big part of the Ute appeal these days, is all the luxury trimmings and, you know, the build and the technology and all that stuff. So this BT-50 Takami has really brought itself into contention, I think, with the addition of all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fit and finish of the interior, the seats, as Matthew's pointed out, are really nice. There's really strong, yeah, it feels robust, and I'll get to that in a second. But even for those in the back, there is a sense of elevated positioning in the Ute market, which is great. The thing that is a little bit it's not without its sort of utilitarian position. So there are a lot of finishes, and this is really where you would come in and go, these hard plastics, blah blah blah, and there are a fair amount of them.
For sure. I mean, on the top of the dashboard, the door cards pretty much entirely, apart from the little brown soft bits, they're all hard and scratchy plastics. And the other bit that reminds you that it's, I guess, in its essence a rugged vehicle is that grumbly old diesel engine you hear in the background all the time.
Yeah, it offers plenty of oomph. So, well, 140 kilowatts, 450 newton meters of torque. So it's very good for towing the toys once you've got them. But you can hear it. I would have thought there would have been more MVH added for this sort of premium sort of Takami side of things.
A 3.5 ton towing actually for brake trailer, so it's pretty considerable amount. But yes, I absolutely agree with Dave there. And for the price as well, it's getting quite close to 70,000 New Zealand dollars, and that's, you know, coming into luxury SUVs and other more luxury trimming utes as well.
There is quite a lot on offer though around the cabin. A nice mix of digital and analog, and you know, on and off the road, although we haven't really, well, on the verge, it does feel very, very substantial, feels easy to drive, and also just big and ready to go places.
Absolutely right. I mean, even though we've just been tootling around town, it feels like nothing can phase it, and the fact that you have all that off-road technology on hand means it is really able and undoubtedly can go off-road when you need it, much more than just the verge or the curb in the city.
The BT-50 has actually elevated its position both in the Ute market and also its pricing, but it does come very very backed up as far as sort of 5-year warranty, 5-year roadside assistance, and 5-year fixed term servicing. So there's lots going on with that, and you know, people are looking for more premium parts of the Ute area. This is more of a family car than a Ute.
And I will actually add another 5 to that, because Mazda will actually purchase 5 trees from the Trees That Count Foundation to help offset the carbon emissions that come from their cars every time you buy a new Mazda. So there's that added factor as well.
And the good thing about it, you could probably pull back that retractable thing and take them to go and get planted. So there you have it. Mazda's new BT-50 Takami edition. Yes, it's all the joys and off-road and capabilities of the BT-50, but just now the Takami craftsmanship to just help you along your way, and it really is upmarket.
Absolutely right. Honestly, that one word makes a world of difference.
Yep, more leather, more premium, more actually more Mazda. Lovely. Thanks for watching. It will be around here somewhere if you want to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.